Hi, welcome to Gramophone Music Studio YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll talk about ABRSM Grade 4 Oral Test Full Guide, including answering tips. You can check out our previous videos on ABRSM Grade 3 Oral Test Complete Guide and Answering Tips, as well as ABRSM Exam Information video. Please subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more of our contents. Firstly, what is oral test? It is a listening test that involves clapping, singing, and answering questions. It is only in practical exam, which is face-to-face exam. It is 18 marks out of 150. The entire test will be played on the piano, regardless of candidate's instrument for the exam. A grade 4 and 5 oral test contains 3 sections. Test A on melody repetition, Test B on sight singing, and Test C on musical features and rhythmic repetition and meter. Let's start with Test 4A, melodic repetition. The instruction is as such. Here is a melody for you to repeat. Would you prefer to sing it or play it? I'll play it twice. Here is the key chord and your starting note. Here it is again. The candidate should memorize the correct melody and repeating it after hearing twice, ensuring accuracy in pitch and rhythm. You can choose to sing or play the melody. If you choose to play, examiner will name the key chord and starting note for you. The melody range will be within an octave. It can be in major or minor key up to 3 sharps or 3 flats without chromatic notes. The length is not more than 4 bars, and the meter will be either in 2 time including 6/8, 3 time, or 4 time. The test is an extension of echo singing from previous grades, except now it's only one melody to be repeated and up to 4 bars long. This is an example of Test 4A.
Here is a melody for you to repeat. I'll play it twice. Here is the key chord and your starting note. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here it is again.
And this would be the correct response for singing and playing. La 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 la. Here are some teaching hints for Test 4A. Have the student try singing back the melody. Start with echoing short melody of 2 bars, including various rhythm and note range. You can also sing scales in different rhythm. Use popular tunes or exam pieces to help getting used to singing the melody. Also, get students to try playing the melody back on their instrument to develop a better sense. And the answering tips for students: you can hum gently while examiner plays both times. It will help memorizing the melody. Sing and lock in the starting note when the examiner plays. You can also use hand gesture, high or low, to trace the melodic pattern to memorize it better. Now let's move on to Test 4B, sight singing. The instruction would be, please sing the notes at number on this page. Sing them slowly, and I'll help by giving you the right note if you sing a wrong one. Here's the key chord, and this is your starting note. The candidate should sing the notes as printed, and you can choose to read in treble clef or bass clef. The melody would be either in C, F, or G major, and the range would be within a third above and below the tonic, which means it would be Do, Re, Mi, Si, La. The test begins and ends on tonic. The interval would not be more than a third. The examiner will help the candidate by playing and identifying the correct note if any note is sung at the wrong pitch. This is an example of Test 4B.
Please sing the notes at number 7 on the sheet. Sing them slowly. In the examiner will help by giving you the right note if you sing a wrong one. Here is the key chord G major. And this is your starting note, G.
Do, ti, re, ti, do. Here are some teaching hints for the teachers. You can introduce singing in movable do according to the key of the music. For a student who is used to singing fixed do, feel free to do so in fixed do. You can practice singing the second and third intervals, ascending and descending. Take note on the major and minor intervals. Have the student sing the warm-up in the next slide. You can also aid the student by playing the note after they sing. So you should get used to the major second, minor second, and major third and minor third interval. So for example, in C major, the major second would be do, re, and the minor second, do, si. Note that the minor interval is more narrow and closer. And for the major interval, do, mi, and minor third interval, do, la, and re, si. You can sing this in the 3 different keys, which is C major, F major, and G major. Next, try singing this warm-up. Do, re, mi, re, do, si, la, si, do. And you can also do that in F major and G major. And also, you can try this exercise, which is you play the key note and ask the student to sing a certain solfege within the range. So for instance, this is do, sing me a re. For Test 4B answering tips, the first and last note must be a do, which is the tonic, so make sure to start and end on the correct pitch. Hold the notes long enough so the pitch can be heard clearly. Read how the notes move and think about how these intervals sound, whether it's a major or minor, second or third interval, before singing. Test 4C will be divided into 2 sections. The first one, musical features. The instruction is, listen to this piece, then I'll ask you about either one from dynamics, articulation, tempo change, and tonality, and about character. The candidate should pay attention to the musical details of the piece and answer questions. The second section would be rhythmic repetition and meter. The instruction would be, now clap the rhythm of the notes in this phrase after I've played it twice more. Here it is again. Is it in 2 time, 3 time, or 4 time? Candidate should clap the exact rhythm of the extract and answer if it's in 2, 3, or 4 time. This is an example of Test 4C.
Listen to this piece. Then I'll ask you about dynamics and about character. Describe the dynamic changes in this piece. What in the music gives this piece its character?
The music started quietly, and then there was a crescendo to forte, and the second half of the piece was pianissimo. The music sounds sad and melancholy because of the minor key, and also it is mainly played legato, and there was a smooth melodic line.
Now, clap the rhythm of the notes in this phrase after I've played it twice more. Here it is again.
It is in 3 time. For musical features section, you'll be asked either one from tempo, dynamics, articulation, and tonality. These are the features from grade 1 to 3, and you will find the teaching hints from grade 3 oral test full guide video. Character is new for grade 4 and is a compulsory question in grade 4 oral test. Here are some answering tips for test 4C, dynamics. You should pay attention to the loud or soft or the changes between the dynamics. Describe the overall dynamic of the music or a certain sections, which is like the first half or second half. The sample questions would be, describe the dynamic level in the first half of this piece. Describe the dynamics in this piece. What was the general dynamic level of the music, and did this change anywhere? The difference from previous grades would be, now the candidate is expected to elaborate the response using musical terminology. And they're expected to describe the dynamics in the larger sections or even the whole piece, from how it began, any changes in between, to how it ended. Articulation refers to smooth, legato, or detached staccato. The sample questions would be, describe the articulation at the beginning of the piece. Were the notes at the beginning of the melody mostly smooth or mostly detached? Were the chords in the accompaniment smooth or detached? In grade 4, candidates should pay attention to the articulation of the right hand and left hand or the melody and accompaniment, and also the articulation in different sections such as first half or second half. For questions on mostly smooth or mostly detached, it can be a mixture of both in the extract, so you have to listen carefully. Regarding tempo change, this is similar to grade 1 to 3 tests. You have to answer whether the tempo of the music changes, whether it's getting slower or faster, and when it happened. Is it in the beginning, middle, or the end? The sample questions are as such. Was there any change in tempo, or did it always stay the same? Did the tempo change, or did it always stay the same? Tonality refers to major or minor key. The sample questions are, was this piece in a major key or in a minor key? Did the music start in a major key or in a minor key? In grade 4, there can be slight modulation or tonicization, so it might be less straightforward compared to the previous grades. You should pay attention to the key throughout the piece. This is a guide to help you identify whether it's in a major or minor key by paying attention to the character of the music or listen to the final chord. Major key usually sounds happy, bright, cheerful, and lively, whereas the minor key sounds sad, dark, scary, or mysterious. And about character, this would be new for grade 4. You're expected to describe the character of music and provide the musical features that support the answer. The sample question would be, what in the music gives this piece its character? Here are some teaching hints. Using the exam pieces or any familiar music to students, encourage them to describe the character. Brainstorm what contributes to the character. You can also play the same piece of music but with variation in tempo, tonality, articulation, dynamics change, and ask the students how does it affect the character of the music. And here are some answering tips. First, describe using an adjective, then elaborate with the supporting reason, such as the tempo of the music, the tonality, the articulation, the dynamics, the rhythmic feature, and melodic feature. For instance, the piece is dance-like and lively because of the fast tempo used in the music, the piece is in a major key, and the difference between the dynamic level was made suddenly. Or, the piece is calm and song-like because the music is played in a slow tempo, the articulation was legato throughout the piece, also the melody line is smooth, resembling singing style. And here is a guide to help you differentiate between the characters and some of the musical features. This is strictly for reference, and the exact features could be different according to the music. For the second section, which is rhythmic repetition and meter, it is different from grade 1 to 3 because the earlier grades, the candidates clap the pulse, and in grade 4, the candidates should clap the exact rhythm as how you hear it. The examiner will only play the right hand, which is the melody line without accompaniment. The challenge would be memorizing the correct rhythm and identifying the meter. Here are some teaching hints. Have the student memorize the melody including pitch and ask them to clap back the rhythm while singing the melody. You can also ask them to feel the pulse by tapping the foot or hand at the same time. And on the answering tips, listen to the pulse and figure the meter when examiner plays the whole piece. If you miss it, figure out the meter when examiner plays the extract for the first time. During the second time, memorize the melody including the pitch, and only clap out the rhythm while singing the melody in your head. That will be all regarding the oral test. Now on to some common questions. In the exam, candidate will stand beside the piano, where the piano keyboard cannot be seen. The candidate should face the examiner. No book or instrument is needed during the test. ABRSM has published useful materials that can help candidates prepare for the oral test. The books such as Specimen Oral Test and Oral Training in Practice, and the ABRSM Oral Trainer app, mock oral tests on the ABRSM website, and on our channel, sample oral test videos. The links to the above materials can be found from the link in description. If you're not comfortable with singing, what are the other alternatives? In the oral test, the pitch is more important than vocal quality. You can choose to sing or hum or whistle. For test 4A, you can repeat the melody by playing on your instrument. As for test 4B, you can sing in any syllable, letter name, or solfege. Humming or whistling is also acceptable. Please note that the response has to be clear and confident. There is a definitive answer for all tests. However, only a qualified teacher can advise if you sing perfectly in pitch or memorize the correct melody. Besides giving the correct response, candidates should also speak and sing clearly and confidently. So this video only provides guidance and walkthrough, but training should be done with a qualified teacher in order to know if you're doing it correctly. This is the marking criteria for oral tests. Please take note that the candidate's responding time and confidence level, and if a second attempt was needed in any part of the test, will be taken in consideration in marking. Regarding spoken response for non-English native speaker, only the test C requires spoken response. The candidate is permitted to bring an interpreter into the exam room. From my personal experience, the candidates do not need a perfect command of English for spoken response. The examiner will say the same instruction at the beginning of each test just like in this video, and you can give simple answers and keywords confidently. Can the test be done on your instrument if you're not a pianist? No, the oral tests are only delivered using the piano by examiner. You can utilize the practice materials by ABRSM to familiarize with the procedure. But teachers are strongly encouraged to adapt the test on the candidates' respective instruments to give them a better understanding. You can find all the links and documents mentioned in this video, including the PDF version of this video from the link in the description box. Like and drop us a comment if you've got questions or if you find this video helpful. Subscribe to our channel for more contents. All information is correct by the date of publication. In the event of any discrepancies or inconsistency, ABRSM's information shall prevail. That's the end of the video. See you next time.